We are thankful for all of you who thought it not robbery to be here with us tonight in this County Council meeting and certainly engaging in the civic process. Thank you to our County Council colleagues who are here tonight. Ms. Honeycutt, we pray, is on her way. To our administrator, clerk, attorney, and auditor, wherever he may be, and to all county staff, we are grateful for your service. And to all veterans in this Veterans Week, we certainly salute each of you. Tonight we're going to begin our County Council meeting with prayer by Chaplain Roy Gould and a pledge by our Housing and Land Management Director, Eric Davis, a coach in the Emerging Leaders Program.
Would you join me in prayer? Almighty God, I pray this council meeting tonight. I ask that you give each council member wisdom, guidance as they deliberate on the item that is before them. We pray for open hearts and mind to receive your plan and your purpose. May they be sensitive to your leading and obedient unto your will. We ask it in your holy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Freedom of Information Act.
In compliance with the Freedom of Information Act, notice of meeting was posted and agendas were distributed to news media and persons requesting notification.
We are so...
Chairman.
Yes.
Move for approval of items 3A, B, and C.
All right, properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. The ayes have it. The Porter Goud Girls Swim Team Championship. Let's read that first.
All right.
This is the girls' swim team?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You know who got the big bucks down? Brantley Moody.
A resolution. We're ready? Okay. A resolution of Charleston County Council honoring the accomplishments of the Porter Goud School Girls Swim Team. Whereas, from time to time, the Charleston County Council has the privilege of recognizing individuals in our community who exemplify commitment, determination, dedication, and excellence. And whereas the 2025-2026 Porter Goud School Girls Swim Team has exhibited all these characteristics in an exceptional swim season, winning the South Carolina Independent Schools Association A Championship held at the North Charleston Aquatic Center. And whereas the team of champions is comprised of Harriet Kelly, Zuri Swain, Sloan Pittard, Ann Hyde, Caitlin Baden, Willa Levine, Lila Kowalski, Lizzie Medden, Ann McIntosh, Molly Doherty, Eliana Nasser, Holly King, and Finola Donahue. And whereas the stellar team's coaching staff are Michael Walsh, Ben Walsh, Dave Ryder, Ashley Bennett, Sarah Hawley, and Athletic Director Al Wilson. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Charleston County Council, in meeting duly assembled, is proud to congratulate the girls' swim team of Porter Goud School for their spectacular season and for bringing the honor of the Division I state championship to Charleston County. Charleston County Council, Reverend Dr. Kylon Jerome Middleton, Chairman.
Mike has built an absolute juggernaut in West Ashland, and he not only coaches these young ladies at Porter Goud, but he also coaches a summer team that a lot of you people probably do, summer rec team, and has quite a competitive team there too. But Coach Mike, if you'd like to say a few words.
I'd just say thank you very much. These are some wonderful young ladies to coach. They won their 11th straight state championship about a month ago, and they did it in great fashion. They were outstanding. It was a lot of fun to watch. So thank you very much for recognizing them.
(3B) Academic Magnet Boys Swim Team State Championship.
A resolution of Charleston County Council honoring the accomplishments of the Academic Magnet High School boys swim team. Whereas, from time to time, Charleston County Council has the privilege of recognizing individuals in our community who exemplify commitment, determination, dedication, and excellence. And whereas the 2025-2026 Academic Magnet High School boys swim team has exhibited all these characteristics in an exceptional swim season, winning the South Carolina High School League 3A championship held at the University of South Carolina. And whereas the team of champions is comprised of Yaroslav Abramov, Keith Aikman, Reed Aikman, Clayton Chisholm, Ian Clare, Finley Connors, Parker Hamilton, Braden Knauer, Alex Coster, Gabe Cupperell, Stephen Moody, Logan Patterson, Noah Pomerantz, Fletch Thurmond, Max Tippy, Nathan Wright, Yiking Yi, and Yidong Yi. Whereas the stellar team's coaching staff are Jacqueline Healy, Ben Harley, and Danielle Hainline, and athletic director Raymond Knauer. Whereas the Raptors scored a total of 512.5 points, leading to their third state title, including a pair of individual state champions, Parker Hamilton in the 100-yard freestyle, setting a new school record for this event, and Logan Patterson in the 100-yard backstroke. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Charleston County Council, in meeting duly assembled, is proud to congratulate the boys' swim team of Academic Magnet High School for their spectacular season and for bringing the honor of the Division III state championship to Charleston County. Charleston County Council, Reverend Dr. Kylon Jerome Middleton, Chairman.
Young men for being here. This group has been close a number of years in a row, and they finally broke through. They're always in the top couple of the state, and they finally broke through this year. So, Coach Jackie, if you'd like to say a few words.
These boys have been working really hard, especially some of them for the last 4 years, and so it's been 12 years since our last state championship. And these swimmers are not just fantastic athletes; they are awesome scholars, and they also do a lot for the community. So we are super proud as their coaches to be able to be a part of this team this year.
I would say I'm pretty tall.
They're used to it.
Thank you.
We do have a couple of elected and or former elected officials in the audience. Thank you so very much. Mayor Tecklenburg is here, and we're so thankful that he's with us. Senator Thurmond, and I thought I saw school board member Mike Ramsey somewhere in the house, but there he is. Thank you so much for being here tonight. At this time, we recognize APWA Regional Director Jeffrey Brown to present the award to staff from Public Works, Facilities and Fleet, American Public Works Association reaccreditation.
Good evening, Chair, members of council. It is an honor and pleasure to be here tonight. Give it just a second. My name is Jeffrey Brown. I get to serve as the APWA Region 3 Director for APWA National Board of Directors. That comprises North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and the Mid-Atlantic chapter, which is Virginia, West Virginia, D.C., and the Maryland area. I reside in North Carolina. I'm born and raised there. Been a member of APWA for 20-plus years. Served on the national board for 4 years. We're here tonight to bring distinct recognition to 3 of your departments, facilities, fleet, and public works, for APWA accreditation. And I'm going to read this so I don't mess it up. So let me get I've reached that point in my life where I've got to have readers, so just bear with me. Mm-hmm. So accreditation is the mark of professionalism, indicating a public works agency has made the commitment to continuous improvement in the delivery of public works operations and services in the community it serves. Accreditation recognizes an agency's policies, procedures, and practices which have been evaluated against nationally recognized management practices determined to be appropriate for that specific agency. So a team of evaluators came and made a site visit here out of Ohio and Florida, and they have your agencies had 227 practices that they had to be reviewed. That review team found all 227 best practices in full compliance. So your departments were originally accredited in 2013. Accreditation is good for 4 years, so this is their 3rd reaccreditation. To let you know how much work this goes involved, there's only 225 accredited agencies in the United States. You have 7 accredited agencies in the state of South Carolina. This is a lot of work. I had a resident ask me once, why would an organization go through the process of being accredited just to say you're accredited? He said, who benefits from that? I said, sir, you do. I said, as a resident, your Public Works Department, if it's an accredited agency, they have been compared against what they do day in and day out against best practices and standards throughout the United States that are model practices. And so at this point in time, I just want to say it is a pleasure to be able to present this recognition to your board tonight. I got in a little early. I drove in this afternoon from North Carolina, came in, and Steve graciously took me around and toured me of your new Public Works facility. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support for Public Works in Charleston County. I told Steve, this is by far the nicest Public Works complex that I have been able to visit in my tenure as a regional director for APWA. So be proud of what you've done. I know the staff is extremely proud. So I just want to say thank you for your commitment to Public Works and to fleet and facilities in Charleston County. I can tell you staff appreciates the investment in them, and your facility shows that. And not only does it meet today's needs, but it meets the future needs of this community too. So kudos for you having the vision and foresight and putting the necessary funding to make that happen. So at this point in time, I would like to ask Director Sabatino, Director Taylor, and Director Adams to come forward so we can present the accreditation. I'm not sure where the plaques are, if we have them, or we're just going to shake hands. But come on down, gentlemen. But also, without further ado, too, I don't want to be amiss of these important people. Brandy Carter, Jesse Reed, and Jerry Lom. They served as your accreditation managers for each one of those departments. They are the true heroes because that is a lot of work. They are the workhorses behind this. I can assure you, without each one of those 3 individuals organizing and making sure things got submitted on time and looking at the practices, this would not have happened. So kudos to everyone involved. Kudos to the staff, county administration for supporting Public Works. And again, be very proud of this team. Let's give them a hand.
What's up, brother? Steve, it'll be another 30 years till you get another building, okay? So, another 30 years. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
We will now disband our county council for public hearings and public comments. 1A, ZREZ 0925000167, St. John's Fire District.
Yes, sir. Notice is hereby given that Charleston County Council will hold a public hearing on ZREZ 925000167, a request to rezone TMS number 213000090 from the agricultural residential AGR zoning district to the rural agricultural AG8 zoning district.
All right, as stated, this is a request to rezone the parcel 213-00090 from AGR to AG8. This parcel is located on Johns Island at 4550 River Road. Now, in the 1990s, the subject parcel was zoned agricultural general. The subject parcel was identified as a settlement area parcel and placed in the AGR zoning district upon adoption of the ZLDR in 2001. Prior to this request, no other zoning map amendment requests have been submitted for the subject property. Here is the location of the subject property when looking at the county as a whole. The future land use designation is agricultural residential. Now, this subject property has frontage along River Road, and it is developed with the St. John's Fire District Station number 5. The adjacent parcel that surrounds the parcel to the west, north, and east is zoned AG8. Parcels across and with frontage on River Road are zoned AGR, and then the surrounding properties contain manufactured housing units or contain single-family homes. The subject property is located in flood zone AE11 in shaded X. Here is an aerial view of the subject parcel, and these are photos of the subject property as well as the adjacent property. And these photos are a part of our parcels across River Road. Now, this slide shows the comparison of allowed land uses in the current AGR zoning as well as those in the proposed AG8 zoning district. Uses with a C are allowed with conditions, and uses with a S require special exception approval by the BZA. The uses in bold are only allowed in the zoning district for which it is listed under. Now, the current and requested zoning districts allow primarily for agricultural uses and single-family residences. In the requested AG8 zoning district, the dimensional standards would remain the same with the exception of the minimum lot areas and minimum widths. In the requested AG8 zoning district would permit a reduction in density. Therefore, criterion A and B are met. Criteria C and D are not applicable. And the Planning Commission as well as staff recommended approval of the request. No public comments have been received for the request, and this case was noticed as required.
Thank you so very much. Anyone signed up?
We do. We have one person, David Myers.
All right.
Good evening, Chair, members of the council. My name is David Myers. I'm with LCK, the project manager for the St. John's Fire District, just here representing the request on behalf for essentially all we're doing is rezoning this consistent with the surrounding properties. As you can see, there's already an existing Station 5 there. We're going to be expanding it here within the next year for a larger station to help facilitate public services in the area.
Thank you, sir. All right. 1B, ZREZ 0925000168 and ZREZ 0925000170. Beast Ferry Road rezoning.
All right, so as stated, this is a rezoning to change from low-density residential R4 to the urban residential UR zoning district for two parcels that are located at 1136 and 1154 Beast Ferry Road. Prior to 1999, the subject parcels were zoned AG, and then with the adoption of the ZLDR in 2001, the parcels were zoned RSL. The RSL zoning was renamed to R4 in 2006. Then in March of 2025, an application was submitted to rezone the parcels from R4 zoning to a PD zoning, proposing to develop 147 condos. Both staff and Planning Commission recommended disapproval of the request, and the applicant withdrew the request prior to the public hearing. Here is the property location within the county as a whole. The future land use designation is Urban Suburban Cultural Community Protection. And the subject properties are zoned R4, and they are currently developed with a horse farm on parcel 023 and a single-family residence on parcel 037. The parcel to the north and the adjacent parcel 011 are both developed with churches and zoned R4. Parcel to the west has a pump station and is zoned R4, and then a parcel across Beast Ferry Road is zoned CC, Community Commercial, and is developed with apartments. The parcel to the east has the Hunt Club PD zoning and is developed with a commercial center. The subject properties are located in flood zone shaded X and AE7 on the west boundary and AE9 towards the east side of the property. Here is an aerial view to the north and an aerial view to the south. These are photos of the subject properties, and then these are photos of adjacent properties. This slide shows the comparison of allowed land uses between the current R4 zoning, which allows 4 dwelling units per acre, and the proposed UR zoning, which allows 16 units per acre. Uses with a C are allowed with conditions. Uses with a S, special exception approval by the BZA, and those in bold are only allowed under the zoning district it is listed under. This chart shows a comparison of the density, intensity, and dimensional standards between the current R4 zoning and the proposed UR. The biggest differences are the density, lot width, and building height. Now, the comprehensive plan designates the subject parcels for the Urban Suburban Cultural Community Protection Future Land Use category, which calls for low-density single-family development, limited commercial activity, and some agricultural uses. The category also lists a maximum density of 4 units per acre. The requested UR zoning district allows density of 16 dwelling units per acre and higher intensity residential uses than recommended by the comprehensive plan. Therefore, this criterion A is not met. And then, as we stated, proposed UR zoning district with our higher density, higher intensity uses such as multifamily and the less restrictive dimensional standards than the current R4 zonings that apply to the subject properties and the adjacent properties on the same side of Beast Ferry and Bear Swamp means that therefore criterion B is not met. Criteria C and D are not applicable. And then because one or more of the approval criteria are not met, staff and the Planning Commission recommended disapproval. Now, at the Planning Commission meeting, we did receive 58 comments in opposition, 34 comments in support, and 2 general comments were received. And then prior to tonight's meeting, 19 comments in opposition, 8 comments in support, and a support petition with 33 support signatures was submitted by the applicant from the Light of Christ Ministries Church. We did also receive an additional 9 comments in support, as well as 11 comments in opposition to this request as well. And then the case was noticed as required.
Thank you so much. The applicant is here, and we would like to give the applicant 5 minutes. Collective 5 minutes to present their case.
Joseph Tecklenburg, Tony Berry, and Dominic Jones.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and fellow members of council. My name is Joseph Tecklenburg. I'm with CC&T Real Estate, and I am actually the listing agent for the property and represent the landowners, the Story family. As you heard in the presentation, we came before Planning Commission earlier this year with a different applicant, and we heard the feedback that the proposed development was too dense, too tall, and did not contain enough affordable housing. Upon that effort failing, we regrouped with the sellers and wanted to be very selective of who we contracted with. And so upon a recommendation from my father, we we reached out to Tony Berry, who's a leader in our region in building workforce housing. We were able to contract with his team, and Tony devised a plan that addresses the feedback and provides workforce housing. And I also wanted to speak about our public outreach to date. We hosted a public meeting at the West Ashley Library before the Planning Commission. We've met with the leaders of the Red Top Community Association multiple times, as well as the Hunt Club neighborhood. And the Light of Christ Ministries Church, which is adjacent to this property, is in full support of the proposed project. We are confident this plan is a piece of the larger puzzle to provide more workforce housing at no cost to the taxpayer. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Tony Berry to tell you more about himself and his plan. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. Tony Berry. I think we all know probably one of the biggest challenges in this community and others like this community is how can our missing middle people that live and work and support us in this community, how can they find a place to live that they can afford or that they can afford without having to drive an hour or more to work. We've had the opportunity over the last 4 years to be asked and then to find some opportunities to start to make a small dent in the gap that exists in attainable housing. Our niche is a for-sale product. We don't do any rentals. Our total focus is on for-sale product, and our workforce or attainable homes target those that make between 80 and 120% of the area median income in our communities, which at the end of the day means helping people that have very little money to put down and need to spend about $2,000 to $2,500 a month to have a home. That's who we're serving. It's not easy. It probably the two things that are most helpful in being able to achieve that goal is density and time. It's surprising how much time cost in development, and so we are asking for a zoning that allows more density than we need and are committed to provide. And the way we're proposing to deal with that is we and the seller, you'll speak to that in a second, we've agreed to a voluntary deed restriction that will be applied to the property before closing that limits the property to no more than 10 units to the acre, limits it to no more than the townhomes that are 3 stories tall, and limits out of 100 units that we would build, 15 would be deed restricted for 75 years to buyers that earn no more than 120% of the area median income. This is a great opportunity to bring what we call a mixed income community where you have both market rate and attainable housing, and we hope that County Council will shine favorably upon our request. And as always, we're available now or outside for any questions that anyone would have. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dominic Jones with Thomas & Hutton, the civil engineer of record for the project. During the public meetings that we did hold, 2 issues came up that we wanted to kind of discuss: stormwater and traffic. This project, once approved, will follow the Charleston County Stormwater Ordinance as well as the South Carolina Department of Environmental Services regulations. It will also follow the Special Protection Area policy for water quantity and quality control. The ponds that we've designed for the project will handle those requirements. We've also reached out to a couple of the neighboring properties for the drainage issues on Bear Swamp Road. Basically, there's a culvert crossing. We reached out to the DOT, got their record drawings to get a better understanding of the infrastructure in the area. There's a culvert crossing that needs routine maintenance, and it has not happened. So we're willing to bear that burden and help the neighboring community there. The other point is traffic. Our site will have direct access to 2 existing curb cuts on Bees Ferry Road. And the previous traffic study that was provided with the previous rezoning for 184 units showed no adverse impacts to level of service. We're having 100 units, so this should improve that level of service. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else signed up to speak?
The first speaker is John Tecklenburg, followed by Bob Story, and then Curtis and Avenant.
John Tecklenburg, 9 Fenwick Drive, West Ashley. Mr. Chairman, members of council, thank you for having us, and thank you for your service. During my time as public service, one of the things that I learned was that affordability in housing is at a critical issue in Charleston County and in our region. I've come to believe that affordability in housing is in fact the limiting factor for our future economic success in this region, but particularly for lower and middle income citizens. It's just a fact that working families have a hard time getting ahead and gaining equity with the prices of housing in this community. So many strategies are out there. You all have dissected many. We did at the city. But one thing's for sure, if we can't get more private sector investment doing affordable housing, it just isn't going to work. And one of the people that we worked with that I learned had figured things out was, in fact, Tony Berry. And in this case, he's not asking county council for any money. He's willing to do this because it's in his heart. He has a passion for it. Now, folks that are in this business, we have testimonials and letters of support, including Otha Meadows from the Urban League, Cass Singleton from Palmetto Community Action, and Ms. Johnson, Gianna Shaw Johnson with Department of Housing at the City of Charleston. This development, by the way, is compatible with the existing uses of Bees Ferry. With all due respect, I know 25 years ago when the zoning was set for this, Bees Ferry Road was a 2-lane country road. Well, y'all, this ain't your mother's Bees Ferry Road anymore. It's a 4-lane big highway. It's got pedestrian use. So I would make the case to you that within the urban growth boundary, access only to a major road, Bees Ferry Road, a shopping center next door, a grocery store a block away. This is the place where we want to do infill development. We didn't think of Bees Ferry Road as being infill, I know, 20, 25 years ago. We've grown, y'all, and this is a time. With the public benefit of affordability being added, we respectfully ask for your support.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Bob Story, Curtis and Abbott, Kimberly Garcia.
Thank you, Chairman Middleton and County Council, for hearing us. I'm Bob Story, live at 1154 Bees Ferry Road, the property in question, one of the 2 properties. My mom bought that property in 1975. So we've had it 50 years. I've been a part, my family has been a part of the Red Top community for 40. So I've seen a lot. Bees Ferry was a 2-lane dirt road. Then it became paved. Then it became a 4-lane road. Seen a lot of development go up around us. We held on, ran our farm, and now it's time for us to move on. We're too old to do what we did. My family wanted to be selective when we were looking at builders after our first experience with NVR, and we heard what the community had to say. And we met Tony Berry, and he checked all the boxes for us. 15 units, affordable housing out of 100. That's a pretty good number. We've amended the contract limiting the build to 100 units. It's height restricted. There will be deed restrictions in place at closing. So we're not egressing Bear Swamp Road. We heard the community, so there's no impact to Bear Swamp Road. And I guess I'm surprised at the backlash from the Red Top community. They opposed Long Savannah, then they supported Long Savannah. When we were working with NVR at the Planning Commission meeting, Dr. Dover stood up and said that NVR was the only group that had spoken with them and that they could support that project. So we heard their concerns, we made the adjustments, and now Red Top community doesn't want to support the project. I don't understand what changed.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Story.
Thank you.
Curtis Inhabitant, Kimberly Garcia, Tracy DeLong.
Thank you for having me. I'm Dr. Curtis Inhabitant Jr., Doctor of Science, Management, and Leadership. I live in Ravenel. I once served on council for 17 years. My late father, the Honorable Curtis B. Inhabitant Sr., had a long tenure in public service, serving as mayor of Ravenel, member of the South Carolina General Assembly, and member of Charleston County Council. My father always understood the need for affordable housing, and so do I. Affordable housing is a challenging topic throughout South Carolina. In October 2025, Governor Henry McMaster signed legislation aimed at creating more housing opportunities and options to revitalize and building affordable housing communities. This new law supports sustainable growth to regions and community. With that said, I fully understand the need for structured, affordable homes in Charleston County and understand the impact. Therefore, I fully support the rezoning of 1136 Bees Ferry Road. Rezoning of this area will enhance the area, thus providing more appeal for individuals working in and around Charleston County. I urge council to fully research Governor McMaster's new law and understand current issues, while at the same time forecasting the future and making the conscious decision to support this cause. Thank you.
Kimberly Garcia, Tracy DeLong, Kendra Boozer.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Kimberly Garcia, and I strongly support initiatives that make homeownership attainable for the people who serve as the backbone of our community. Our teachers, firefighters, police officers, nurses, and hospitality workers. These are the individuals who protect us, care for us, keep our towns running every single day. I've seen this personally because my own family includes firefighters, nurses, I didn't expect to get so upset, and retired police officers who spent decades serving others, yet even they had struggled to find affordable homes near their workplace. Creating pathways to homeownership for essential workers isn't just about housing. It's about preserving the strength, safety, and heart of our communities. When the people who teach our children, respond to our emergencies, and care for our sick can live where they work, everyone benefits. Whew. Affordable housing for them is an investment in all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy DeLong, Kendra Boozer, Sam Spence.
Hello, my name is Tracy DeLong. I am with Ameris Bank Mortgage, and I have been serving homebuyers in the Charleston area for over 25 years. The number of people here have already talked to the challenge of affordable housing. I see it day in and day out. To give you an idea of the community that Tony Berry is trying to develop, I have had the privilege of working with 39 of his buyers over the last 18 months. 31 of those buyers, or 79%, have been first-time home buyers. 19 of those buyers have received down payment assistance and or tax credits in the amount of $500,000 combined. 34 of those buyers, that's 87%, make less than 100% of the area median income, and 25 of those buyers make less than 80% of the area median income. He's one of the few builders in town that are serving that demographic, and while over the last 25 years we've all seen an incredible amount of development, some we've liked, some we haven't, there's a small niche here that we are missing a huge portion of our population that cannot buy homes because we're not tackling the affordable housing piece. It's a tool to generate generational wealth. We're leaving people behind by not addressing this issue, and there's not a lot of people here making that push. So he's making a real impact, even if it's one small ripple, but that's the only way you get things started. So thank you for your time.
Kendra Boozer, Sam Spence, LaDon Page.
Thank you for having me. My name's Kendra Boozer, and I work for Carolina New Homes, and I've been a real estate agent for over 20 years, and I have had the pleasure of working with Tony Berry on his latest workforce housing project at Bermuda Point in Charleston, South Carolina, off of Highway 61. And I'm going to read some testimonials of some homeowners that we've helped this year. In 2020, I lost my fiance and 1 year's old father. We lost our home and had to move to Florida with my parents until I could get back on my feet. After 3 years, we were able to move back to South Carolina and rented a townhome. As time went by, I decided to look at the possibility of owning my own home, and my fiance and I wanted to leave something behind for our daughter. When I first started looking at houses, most of them were older, requiring more maintenance than I can afford and or have experience with, had high interest rates, required gargantuan down payments, and would require relocation and changing schools. It was an emotional journey. After looking at the prices in places like Somerville and Hanahan versus West Ashley, where we have made our home and have been very happy, I reluctantly accepted we would have to move elsewhere for financial reasons. Then one day, my real estate agent, Ross, told me about Bermuda Point. It marked almost every box on my list. Plus, there was housing assistance. I was able to afford a beautiful new home for my children and myself. It seemed too good to be true, but it wasn't. They worked relentlessly to help me get into my new home and even gave me free new homeowners class that educated me in the ins and outs of buying a house. We are so happy here. I feel safe here, and without the attainable housing, there would be no way we could afford this, and we would have had to uproot our lives again. These programs are necessary, especially as prices go up and wages stay the same. Everyone should have a chance of owning a home and not be stuck in the hamster wheel of renting. My husband and I, this is another one, my husband and I, both native to Charleston, have been lucky enough to watch the city has grown, expanded, and become a popular destination for many travel and to relocate. But what growth and expansion has also come widely inflated costs of living and housing. This time a few years ago, we were ultimately unsure if we could afford to stay, much less break into a housing market that seemed unattainable for the first-time buyer on an average salary. This was a heartbreaking thing to consider. This city is our home, and we never would leave our friends and family given a chance. This is a first responder and a graduate student that we were helping.
Thank you.
Sam Spence, LaDon Page, Diane Milligan.
Hello, Council. Sam Spence from the Preservation Society of Charleston. We're here to urge you to support staff's recommendation and the Planning Commission's recommendation to disapprove this rezoning request. We'll remind you that Planning Commission unanimously, 7-0, recommended disapproval of an overall less dense rezoning for these properties in April, which proposed 14 units per acre with all the public interest requirements that come with the planning or the planned development. And that request was withdrawn before it even got to Council. Now, that said, Bees Ferry does have potential for high-density residential and suburban redevelopment, as we see out there, and the county future land use map does allow for it in other places. But the updated land map now has intentionally designated these parcels contiguous with the Red Top community as urban-suburban cultural community protection. Now, we applaud the developer's proposal for 15 attainable units at 120% AMI, but I don't have to tell you that these entitlements are powerful and they are valuable. And if the goal is to lock in development entitlements with a stated public benefit, especially with such a high overall density request as this, a planned development may be a more appropriate public process that would build in accountability for both the general public and the developer, without a separate independent contingency of deed restrictions that are not yet in place today. So just to boil it down, you all are considering a rezoning request that would provide 15 affordable units at 16 units per acre, and you're weighing that against the current zoning, the current future land use map, the previous recommendation against a less dense proposal, the current recommendation against this proposal from both county staff and the Planning Commission. So we urge you to deny this rezoning request. Thanks.
LaDon Page, Diane Milligan, Jason Fralix.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Council. My name is LaDon Page, 886 Hunt Club Run, Charleston. I do have a petition from Red Top that this is from Dr. Melody Dover, 156 signatures in opposition. I guess there was a PNC article yesterday, and according to that article, Tony Berry supports the amendments, I believe that Joe Boykin suggested, that said that additions to zoning ordinance require infrastructure before zoning. He stated as saying, quote, "That absolutely seems reasonable that staff should ensure that there are adequate utilities and infrastructure in place if you are increasing density. That makes sense. But according to the Planning Commission, the proposed changes in density and dimensional standards of the UR zoning district would allow are not compatible with existing uses, recommended density, or established dimensional standards. The requested zoning district also allows higher intensity residential uses than recommended by the comprehensive plan. I wish we could pause development, but it is not an unreasonable ask to deny upzoning requests that increase density and are not consistent with a comprehensive plan. I have concerns about the current infrastructure to include roads, schools, and emergency services. I do sit in that traffic every day. However, I am not opposed to the current R4 as of right zoning for the property owner. It would be nice to see something that does not create more traffic and congestion. I thought it would be great if the county could use this parcel for a future St. Andrews fire station. But within 3 to 4 miles of this location, Zillow does currently list 450 rentals less than $2,600 a month and 135 homes at the $450K price point. There are at least 500 to 600 homes, townhomes, and apartments under construction in this area currently, not to mention the 4,000 that are coming along Savannah. I ask that you please deny this zoning request, and I appreciate your time and your service to our community.
Diane Milligan, Jason Fralix, Will Jenkinson.
Diane Milligan, 1134 Idbury Lane. I'm yielding my time to the director of Red Top, Dr. Melody Dover, who could not get here because of traffic problems.
You cannot
Thank
yield. Yep, ma'am, you cannot. Ms. Milligan, you cannot yield your time. You cannot yield your time.
Can I stand with her?
No, you can either speak or you can pass.
Will she be able, can we invite her to come?
No, ma'am. That's not how it works.
Rats. Okay. This rezoning has been twice denied by the Planning Commission. Story has an opportunity to make money off his property because it's zoned for 4 home sites per acre. If it's rezoned, no matter what they tell you, 147, 100, they have the opportunity to build 160 home sites on 10 acres. Now, what has already happened in this community? There's cement everywhere you look. So something's being built and some people are living there. And it took me an hour and 20 minutes today to drive from Folly Road to Bees Ferry Road so that I could come here today. An hour and 20 minutes, that's 20 miles. But that's okay. John Tecklenburg, our former mayor, who is also vested in Story with his son, speaks about how the county and city deemed Bees Ferry Road as a main corridor at the last planning development meeting that we attended together. Let's take the time to recheck the impact of those decisions that were made so long ago. Let's look at monitoring and development in those areas and look at the setting that's going on now. Let's reassess the direction and the future of the county. How have we attained the things that we thought we wanted to do so many decades ago? At the last planning meeting, I have so much more to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Jason Fralix, Will Jenkinson, Melina Lagora.
Good evening. Jason Fralix, 1561 Spinnaker Lane, West Ashley. On a personal note, I'm a born and raised, what do we call West Ashleans? Born and raised in West Ashley. And what I see is very few of my former classmates that are able to live in our old neighborhoods, that are able to live in this area. I think that's a shame. So from that standpoint, I'm a very big proponent of affordable housing. From a business standpoint, I'm the mortgage market president for Ameris Bank, who have worked closely with probably more builders than any other lender in the market. And I can tell you that from a builder-developer standpoint, no one in the market is doing more for affordable housing than Tony Berry. So if you have to pick someone to go with this, you've made the right choice from that standpoint. But Ameris Bank is putting our money where our mouth is. We're not just saying we need affordable housing. We're giving $7,500 grants to first-time home buyers under 120% of the area median income that qualify as down payment assistance on certain homes. And we're not doing it just anywhere. There are certain pockets that we're doing that throughout our footprint, Jacksonville being one, some places in Atlanta, and then in Charleston, and only in Charleston, where we have deed restriction neighborhoods like what Tony Berry is doing. The impact he's making, the impact they're making is real. We've been able to see it. We at Ameris Bank are putting our money where our mouth is to address this affordable housing crisis, because it is a crisis. We see it every day in our business. I ask that our duly elected officials do the same. Thank you.
Will Jenkinson, Melina Lagoria, Lindsay Bay.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Will Jenkinson. I am the broker in charge of Carolina One New Homes for the past 20 years and had the opportunity to know Tony Berry for 20 years and working under this brand with him in Prosperity Builders for the last 4 years. And while in a short period of time, we've been able to impact 150 families that have been able to change their lives in a lot of accord. We've been able to impact those who we've been studying and have been found in that missing middle, those who educate us, those who care for us, those who serve us, and those who protect us make up about 80% of those 150 families that we've impacted. One thing to point out, too, that the majority of what we've done so far has been in Charleston County, which, as we all know, is a very challenging area due to the cost of entry and land pricing. The need is greater today. In our region, we are seeing average sales prices exceed $600,000 across the entire Charleston MSA, not just Charleston County. The county has been diligent over the last several years in working under the Housing Our Future plan, a great roadmap. A lot of time and effort went into that. Inside those documents, it talks about things like rezoning property to get to a density to be able to provide housing at these price points. Construction costs aren't going down anytime soon, and neither is land. It takes hard decisions sometime to make the right decision. And now is the right location at the right time to make an impact. Thank you.
Melina Lagoria, Lindsay Bay, Dan Henderson.
Excuse me. Hello, County Council members. Thank you for your time tonight. My name is Melina Lagoria. I'm 24 and a renter in West Ashley. I'm here tonight in support of the rezoning because it will provide more opportunity for affordable housing. Home ownership is becoming increasingly more unattainable, especially for my generation, and this rezoning is a small step, but a huge step in a big way in the right direction to helping my generation build long-term wealth, and I urge and thank you to consider this when going to vote. Thank you.
Lindsay Bay, Dan Henderson, Tony McClellan.
Hello, my name is Lindsay. I'm actually a recipient of one of the workplace houses. I'm a healthcare worker. I'm a first-time homeowner. I am also never going to have to rent an apartment. And I am a local Charlestonian. That's the term we use, by the way. And I will never have to rent an apartment, ever. And I know that seems weird because every single local hates them. We do. We don't like it. They seem to pop up overnight. And they charge way more than what I can afford, or what a cop can afford, or anyone who is EMS, because EMS cannot afford rental prices. We need home ownership. And I am so, so, so thankful that I have my own home. And not only that, but I also live 2.8 miles away from my dad. And sorry, my dad's my favorite. I would not have been able to do that if it wasn't for you. And I really, really appreciate you guys, because workplace housing is so important because we can't afford it. And I know parents do not want to teach their kids math. My parents did that with me for years, and they didn't like it. And if teachers do not have houses, you're going to have to teach your kids, guys. I'm sorry. It's not fun. You can laugh. I mean, it's not a joke, but that was kind of funny. I really, really, really hope you guys continue this, because people in my age bracket, we're not doing okay. We're just not. And we need a place to live and somewhere that's not a rental, that's going to actually build our financial future. You know, these people, they're not even like making commission off these houses. These are people donating their time. Like, that's crazy to me. Crazy. They don't have to do that, but they respect healthcare workers and cops and EMTs and firefighters. And it is so nice living to firefighters because my cooking scares me sometimes. But
thank you so very much.
Dan Henderson, Tony McClellan, Michael Scarfile.
Good evening, Council. My name is Dan Henderson, 165 St. Margaret Street, downtown. I've been involved in the Bees Ferry Road area for a while. I was one of the pioneers that went out there and put up that little strip center there at the intersection of Savannah Highway. We were also part of the group that had the controversy when the big deal was to put the stoplight in, and we couldn't quite get in line with Columbia. I've known Will, and I've known Tony, and I've known all these guys for a while. And what they're trying to do is great. I mean, it's smart growth, and everybody's talked about affordability. They've talked about the 15% affordable, but you got to think about smart growth. And what is smart growth? It's compact, it's walkable, there's transportation, it's diverse and sustainable. And that's what we need. I mean, I came here today from downtown. Traffic on 26 was tough. So we need to continue what's going on Bees Ferry Road right now and make it affordable for everybody, and Tony's the man to do it. Thank you.
Tony McClellan, Michael Scarfile.
Hello, my name is Tony McClellan. I'm a real estate agent with Carolina One New Homes, and I've had the pleasure of working alongside Tony Berry with Bermuda Point. I'm just going to read a couple of testimonials from the recipients at Bermuda Point. My wife and I moved down to the Low Country a little over a year ago, right after we got married. We had been living in apartments, but we recently found out that we are expecting our first baby. Upon finding this out, we knew that we needed more space and began looking at a house to start our family in. However, as a teacher and a graduate student, we could not find any two-bedroom apartments that were affordable and didn't have enough money for a down payment on a house. As we began to worry about our living circumstances, my wife was driving and saw Prosperity Builders' newest community. We called to get more information and learned about their down payment assistance program, which helps working people who are trying to get established have a chance of purchasing a home. This was amazing news, and it helped us purchase our first ever home. Without Prosperity Builders and their program, we would not have been able to begin building our family in a home of our dreams. We are so grateful for Prosperity Builders and the whole team who made our dream a reality. And then this is from someone else, a buyer that has 3 different jobs. I'm writing to express my support for affordable housing in West Ashley. I believe this is a great idea and a wonderful opportunity for all home buyers. As prices are soaring everywhere, affordability is the way to go. I believe having these homes will keep the people who already reside in West Ashley to stay here instead of moving to a different state. Homeownership is very important to me. Throughout the years, I've worked very hard to never miss a student loan or car payment. It's been an extremely long process, but it's been worth the wait. And then the last one is from a teacher. Born and raised in Charleston, I'm a 26-year-old in my 5th year in education. I'll admit that at one time I wasn't sure if I'd be able to stay in my hometown. Housing prices had gone up significantly after I returned from college, and Charleston was becoming filled with people who weren't originally from here. While I appreciate that others love and want to be a part of this community, it was sad to see many people I grew up with having to move elsewhere because they couldn't afford a home, townhome, or anything at all. I'm truly thankful for all the assistance provided at the Bermuda Point Townhomes for people in first responder and education fields, and for those in general whose pay doesn't always reflect the value of their work, sacrifices, and dedication to serving the community. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Michael Scarfile.
Good evening. Michael Scarfile, 721 Creekside Drive. I'm the president of Carolina One Real Estate. First off, on a personal level, for over 50 years, my family has been helping people achieve their goals through real estate ownership in Charleston, and that's something we believe in personally, passionately, and deeply. I'd like to, on a personal level, thank the council for their help with Bridge North Charleston, which was a project of my mother's that created 20 new townhomes and 20 new homeowners in the Hub Ackaby neighborhood. As we all know, and everyone has said before me, attainable housing is at critical need, and it's going to take everyone doing everything, all of the above, from government involvement to private sector activity. And so for that reason, I support this project and this rezoning. National Association of Realtors came out earlier this month and said that 21% of buyers were first-time home buyers. That's an all-time low. All-time in recorded history, all-time low for first-time home buyers. You've heard the groups today talk from the lenders to the first-time home buyers themselves that these are the types of projects. It's going to take density. It's going to take these types of projects to support that first-time home buyer group, or they'll be gone. And a strong homeownership community creates a strong community. So for that reason, I support this project.
That's it.
Thank you so very much. Do we have, we'll go to our public comments.
Yep, we have 10 people signed up for public comments. The first person is Anthony G. Bryant, then Ronnie Steele, Thomas Tisdale Sr.
I came here last time because I was concerned about the chairman's position on speech, and I'm Catholic, and my mother passed. I went to the Catholic diocese about my name, and in the white church is Anthony C. Bryant, and the black church is Anthony G. Bryant. And I had a Supreme Court. I had done Anthony G. Bryant with the Department of Education and the Federal Bureau of Investigation regarding African Americans from Judge Taney in 1857, the Dred Scott case, and the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. This is what I said. There are racist judges and lawyers and law enforcement officers, asset seizures of black men for centuries, even their lives in slavery. April 15, 2019, Joe Dawson was the attorney for the council before becoming a judge. In 2023, he pre-injuncted my speech, and he went to the School of the Confederacy that he erected on Denmark Vesey, the Citadel. I went to Morgan State University. Frederick Douglass was on my campus. So I want to make sure you understand clearly that my speech is my speech. Now, either that's paper terrorism. Now, in South Carolina, they don't have no sovereign citizen laws. 31 states in South Carolina and the state have sovereign citizen laws. I was a former real estate agent, too, for many, many years, and advocated for black folk downtown. There's an art kill right here, way before Tecklenburg then came on the scene in Midtown playing the game here tonight. It's me right here, East Side, 2001, 20-some years ago, talking about black folk being moved from downtown. So don't bring this to me tonight about your concern affordable housing, okay? You ain't never been concerned about affordable housing. It's like drugs. When crack hit the black community, you didn't care. Opioid hit your community, you care. Don't play with me. Don't ever play with me like that again. Have a nice evening.
It's not necessarily a time for council persons to comment, but just a point of clarification. When individuals come up to speak during public hearing, you must speak on the topic of the hearing. During public comments, certainly you can raise any comments you wish. Next person.
Ronnie Steele, Thomas Tisdale Sr., Thomas Tisdale Jr.
That's what I'm saying. I said during public hearings, you have to stick to the topic. During public comments, you can, so nobody's restricting anybody's speech. During public hearings, you have to stay on the topic for the public hearing. That's the point that I'm making. So I wanted to say that for the public, so that when individuals say that their speech is being restricted, you need to stay for public comments and sign up for that. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the County Council, I'm Ronnie Steele. I'm from 5120 Rivers Avenue. Been in Charleston County since 2001, March 2001. Recently, I've been doing a lot of watching videos and documentaries on the 10 most likely states to fail, the cities that are going bankrupt. And the thing that's a common thread in these has been the loss of revenue for tourism. So that, I know, is one of our biggest income providers in this county and in the area. So I'm here to ask that you consider a resolution that would ask the Sheriff's Office to disconnect their commitment to assist ICE in immigration enforcement, because the big, beautiful bill that was passed that started adding $45 billion to ICE right off the go, and to hire 10,000 new agents. So they shouldn't need additional troops, and the increase in the budget, $45 billion, is just to extend the capacity of the detention centers. And this organization has the power to arrest without arrest warrant, power to imprison without a trial.
Thank you so
power
very
to
much.
dispose
Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you.
Thomas Tisdale Sr., Thomas Tisdale Jr., George Freeman.
I'm Thomas Tisdale Sr., 935 Gadsdenville Road, Owendale. October the 28th will live in infancy for me, because this is the first time that actual lawmakers said that home owners and landowners have a right to govern their own property. And that's very important for me. And I've been married with my wife for 53 years. My health is shot, and if it wasn't for my son and her, I'd already be in a nursing home. Her health is going bad, and she's going to need a couple operations, and if she go down, then both of us will be in the nursing home, because my son can't keep up with both of us. I've been married for 53 years, and we've never been separated, and all I'm saying is we do have insurance for long-term living or whatever, but you know how insurance goes. It can run out. We would like to use our property as a backstop in case our insurance run out and we won't get put out of a nursing home. We oppose the overlay, and thank you, lawmakers, for October the 28th. Thank you.
Thomas Tisdale Jr., George Freeman, Burt Morrison.
Good afternoon, Council. Thank you again for your initial support for us opting out of the 10-mile overlay. We also sent you all this weekend additional letters of support that we've gained from getting support from our neighbors behind us, beside us, in front of us, and throughout the community. Again, as my father said, our family has been in 10 Mile for over 50 years, and we would love to stay in this area. We have great relationships with our neighbors, but unfortunately with my parents' health that's failing, they may have to consider downsizing their property. And again, we're, with what the community is asking for, and having protections for the community, we're all for that. However, it's been recently, and the reason that we're here is that there have been suggestions, and they've come to council asking for a more regressive and unproductive restrictions that devalue property owners' property and in a sense try to make an artificial moratorium, which is not fair. So therefore, that's why we're here asking as a family that if our neighbors want the 10-mile overlay, we support them on that. However, for us, we're asking for our property and our property only to be opted out of the 10-mile overlay. And just to let you know, part of our culture in our neighborhood is that property owners did what they wanted to do with their property. They bought and sold property to help benefit their family, and we want that same type of favor. Thank you.
George Freeman, Burt Morrison, Sam Spence.
Good evening. George Freeman, 1450 Bowman Road, president of the Cage Organization. I'm here tonight to talk about a subject that nobody wants to talk about. That's Highway 41. I understand that you don't have as much money as you had before on this project, and I asked to have a map sent to you showing you an option that the Cage Organization feels would solve our problem and get the most for our bucks. The current road that you're trying to build that goes from 41 to Park West does nothing to take traffic off of Highway 41. In the initial traffic analysis, it said that most traffic on 41 is from Joe Rouse to Highway 17. If that's the case, you should be looking at how to get the traffic off of 41 from Joe Rouse to Highway 17. This plan does that. Instead of running from the Park West back to 41, you run from Park West to Highway 17. There's already an easement with a power line through there, so I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with a road going through there. I've heard other people say something about they don't want the road to go through to protect green space. My thing is, I'm all for green space, but my community is more important than green space. People should come before trees. I love trees, but people should come before trees. The other thing is that you should block off the entrance to Bessemer going to 41 and have a connecting road from Bessemer going to the road that goes to 17. This takes all that traffic from Dunes West and Park West off of 41. So if you go with just the 3 lanes in this Phillips community, you should be able to solve this problem without spending all the money. Oh, one last thing. If you connect 41 to Portier Bluff and move that left turn farther away from Brickyard, you'll have less traffic backing up in front of Brickyard. Thank you.
Burt Morrison, Sam Spence, Fran White.
Hello. I'm Burt Morrison, 3848 Chestnut Street in North Charleston. Just want to start out by saying I really appreciate what Dr. Darby was saying last meeting about phyllots. It was really good to hear y'all have that discussion, to bring that up and talk about it. However, it was really concerning to know that y'all still did not know the value of the phylot that you voted on. They presented that it was worth $66 million, but they had no idea how much it was going to cost the community. So obviously you don't list that anywhere online. None of that's available. So we went through, and we have a report here, a draft report of all 85 phylots that were signed since 2010 to 2025. We have the cost of each one and the value of each phylot, as well as the SSRCs when they're listed there. So all that's here. One of the most concerning things as you're going through this is basically just the lack of transparency that the businesses want to hide for whatever reason. The other thing that is very concerning is that you had 2 agreements with foreign weapons manufacturers. So you had the one with Elbit, which is doing all the genocide and destruction in Gaza. But you also had an agreement with a Qatari drone manufacturer that was operating out of the Johns Island Airport. So I think this lack of transparency that exists in these agreements really needs to be stopped. We need to change the way we're doing these agreements so that the value is listed, how much Charleston County, our taxpayers, are paying to invest in these companies. And then we need to have an open discussion. Once that's out there in the open, then you can talk about it. If you don't know how much it's cost, you don't know how much it's worth, you can't have a meaningful discussion. Should we invest in a weapons manufacturer? Should we invest in a foreign weapons manufacturer? Should we invest? There are some good investments. There are good investments, but you should at least be open and honest with it, and you're not doing that now. Please do that in the future. We have the reports if you'd like to see them. Thank you.
Sam Spence, Fran White, Wendy Lockhart.
Logan Council. Sam Spence from the Preservation Society. I haven't been able to attend the previous meetings about the 10-mile overlay. I've provided some written comments, but I just wanted to check in today. Wanted to pass along our thanks in person for continuing to work on the overlay and to staff for the years of support on it to this point. The Preservation Society supports the overlay, but we remain concerned about the proposal to increase densities in the portion of 10 Mile outside of the urban growth boundary. There's been good discussion among all of you all about the precedents this could set and the impacts that this could have on areas where suburban and rural development meet, including on the Sea Islands, where I think the City of Charleston development impacts areas in similar ways to how Mount Pleasant and other municipalities impacts development in 10 Mile. So again, Preservation Society is supportive of the 10 Mile overlay, but we ask you to be mindful of these things as you move it forward. Thanks.
Fran White, Wendy Lockhart, Kali Farah.
Fran White. It's not that the residents in 10 Mile want restrictions. Without restrictions, developers would have free reign to bring whatever they wanted into the community, however they wanted, without a care of how the development affects those currently living in the community or the people they are selling to. They push the limits. No one is stopping people from selling their property. The way some people chose to exercise their property rights is what brought us to this point. We are trying to make sure that growth does not hurt or negatively affect the community as a whole, which is what has happened with the subdivisions that were forced upon the community. 10 years ago, you may have seen a home here or a home there that was out of character with the community. Then a major subdivision, Bees Crossing, was developed with 100 homes. Fast forward to a few years ago, and 3 more major subdivisions were allowed into the community, bringing roughly 50 more homes in additional developers' minor subdivisions, resulting in 2 to 4 homes each that would be rapidly built. None of the major or minor subdivisions are characteristic of the community, whether it's the lot size, building or impervious coverage, or home styles. It all contributes to erasing 10 Mile, its residents, culture, and character. Because becoming a historic district wasn't enough to protect the community. Rezoning parcels from R4 to S3 wasn't enough. We know that adding the overlays still won't be enough, but we're trying to do everything that we can to protect and sustain the community for this generation and future generations. We don't want 10 Mile to become a memory. Each acre matters, especially when the town of Mount Pleasant is annexing large amounts of property out of the district.
Thank you so much.
Wendy Lockhart, Kali Farah.
Good evening, council members. My name is Wendy Lockhart, and I live at Chandler Road in the 10 Mile community. I'm here to support the proposed 10 Mile overlay, but with only a few critical changes. Changing the rural residential density from 1 home per 3 acres to 1 home per 1 acre would destroy the rural identity of the 10 Mile community. Even the Preservation Society of Charleston and the Historic Charleston Foundation have formally stated they cannot support the proposed density increase. So we ask that you respect the 10 Mile community's wishes and mandate the following specific standards in the final overlay. Rural residential zoning remain 1 home to 3 acres, not the proposed 1 home to 1 acre. The maximum building coverage be 20%, not the proposed 25%. The maximum impervious coverage be 25%, not the proposed 30%. And the minimum lot widths retain at 100 feet for non-waterfront properties and 125 feet for waterfront properties. So in closing, I implore you to please review the 10 Mile community meeting minutes. They reflect the community's majority opposition to the density increase in the current draft of the 10-mile overlay. Thank you for your time.
Kali Farah.
Good evening, council members. Kali Fair with the Kiowa Conservancy. Thank you tonight for your consideration for our Greenbelt project, along with all the other Greenbelt projects that are before you. The conservation community and the whole community is very fortunate to have the Greenbelt program. A lot of our conservation work wouldn't be possible without it, so thank you so much. The Betsy Harrison Knit Trail Phase 5 is the fifth and final phase of the project area. You've already approved 1 through 4. This is the last step of 10.7 acres of undeveloped land to add to what will be a fully publicly available property for the public to enjoy. We hope to have it open to the public by the end of next year and hope that all of you will be able to come out and enjoy it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Item 4, yes.
I think there was a gentleman who had some reports. I mean, I would like to see him if he wants to leave them with somebody.
If he would give them to our deputy clerk, we will certainly distribute those to council members. Item 4, second readings. 4A, amend the Charleston Colleton Multi-County Industrial Park for parcels located in a redevelopment project area to add new properties. Second reading.
Yes, sir. An ordinance to further amend the agreement for the establishment of a multi-county industrial business park for properties located in a redevelopment project area by and between Charleston County, South Carolina, and Colleton County, South Carolina, providing for the development of a multi-county industrial business park so as to include additional property in Charleston County as part of the multi-county industrial park. Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Aye.
Mrs. Honeycutt?
Aye.
Mr. Kabrowski?
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor? Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman?
Aye.
Mr. Middleton?
Aye.
The ordinance passes second reading with 9 ayes.
4B, amend the Charleston Colleton Multi-County Industrial Park to add new parcels.
Yes, sir. An ordinance to further amend the agreement for development of a joint county industrial park by and between Charleston County, South Carolina, and Colleton County, South Carolina, providing for the development of a jointly owned and operated industrial business park so as to include additional property in Charleston County as part of the joint county industrial park, and to update the status of certain properties in Charleston County with respect to the joint county industrial park. Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Aye.
Mrs. Honeycutt?
Aye.
Mr. Kabrowski?
Aye.
Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Yes.
Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman? Mr. Middleton?
Aye.
The ordinance passes second reading with 9 ayes.
Item 4C, ZREZ 0725000166, Latson Road rezoning.
An ordinance rezoning the real property located at 3272 Ladson Road, parcel identification number 39000000438 from the industrial IN zoning district to the community commercial CC zoning district. Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Aye.
Mrs. Honeycutt?
Aye.
Mr. Kabrowski?
Aye.
Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye.
Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman? Mr. Middleton?
Aye.
The ordinance passes second reading with 9 ayes. Do you want me to explain that?
First, let's do 5A.
Okay.
Pedestrian and
Chairman,
temporary.
move for committee recommendations 5A and 5B as amended. Second.
We did it.
4C.
Yes, sir.
Read 5B so everybody knows what's in 5B with the right to amend up to third reading.
With the right to amend up to third reading, yes, sir. Thank you for that correction.
Second.
Second thing.
All right. The clerk wishes to provide some context.
For item, what is it? 5B, the 10-mile overlay district, you may remember you gave first reading to one ordinance at our last meeting. There are actually 2 ordinances associated with that overlay district. One is to amend the ZLDR and one is to amend the comp plan. Since we failed to give first reading at our last meeting to the ordinance to amend the comp plan, this will be the ordinance to amend the comp plan, and then we'll have both ordinances back on the agenda at our next meeting, and then for third reading at the following meeting.
So
Vice Chair Kabrowski.
Sorry, for clarification, while we're still, do I need to withdraw my?
No, sir. No, sir.
Just wanted to give that
context. Yep, they stand.
Wanted to
Thank
give
you.
that context.
Thank you very much.
Properly moved, properly seconded. Vice Chair Kabrowski.
I'm foreign charter, so try to be heard. So we're not voting on either tonight. We're
punting it to next week.
We're voting on the first reading. Yes, sir.
Well, I'd like a clarification in what we're voting on tonight.
So
tonight is the comp plan amendments. You approved and gave first reading to the ZLDR amendments for the overlay district at our last meeting, and just due to a staff error, we did not have the comp plan ordinance as part of that record at our last meeting.
Well, maybe because I have congestion, but I just want to understand which is the one with the zoning of zoning. Is that what we're voting on now?
So, Mr. Evans or Ms., can you explain the comp plan amendments that are associated with this particular item?
Yes, sir. So the comprehensive plan amendments are to add the overlay zoning district into the comprehensive plan. So it has that as its future land use recommendation.
So we would be voting voting yes on this tonight.
You would be voting to just incorporate the overlay zoning district area into it. All of the zoning regulations that have to do with the density and the dimensional standards and those types of things are part of the ZLDR amendments that are not part of necessarily the comprehensive plan, but they do implement the comprehensive plan.
So just for clarification, if we voted yes, we would be voting tonight for the upzoning.
We'll be voting to add the overlay district to the comprehensive plan.
Yes. Right. So that's a yes.
Adding the overlay district itself to the comprehensive plan.
Right, the mapping area of it, the upzoning part of it is part of the ZLDR amendments that are separate from this particular vote. They're what voted on last meeting.
So that would not be voted on tonight.
Correct. This would be to add the overlay district to the plan. Yes, sir.
Mr. Moody?
I didn't know if Mr. Crosby would want me to split these two. I'm happy to do that if you would like me to.
Yes, sir.
For approval 5A.
All right. Second. Probably moved and seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Let's have first reading.
An ordinance approving and authorizing the grant of a pedestrian and temporary construction easement to Movement Resources on a portion of county property identified as tax map parcel number 41200000027, located at 4355 Bridgeview Drive, North Charleston, South Carolina.
5B,
Move
10
for
mile.
approval of committee recommendation.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor, or let's just have a roll call vote.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Aye.
Mrs. Honeycutt?
Aye.
Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye.
Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Warman? Mr. Middleton?
Aye.
The motion passes with 9 ayes.
All right, item.
I need to read it.
Oh, yes,
which
please.
is
Yes, ma'am.
what got us here in the first place. An ordinance amending the Charleston County Comprehensive Plan as amended at the following document locations: map 3.1.4, future land use, map 3.1.5, urban suburban future land use detail, and map 3.1.18, 10-mile community overlay zoning district.
Thank you so much. Item
Approval
6.
6A, B, and C.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Opposers, nay. The ayes have it. At this time, we recognize Eric Davis, who will make a brief presentation to answer some questions
On what, sir?
on Greenbelt items.
So what question are you answering? I thought we got those answered the other day.
He's answering questions asked at the committee from.
No, I don't think nobody asked no question. I think we already ready to move forward with this. We
Okay.
voted what we wanted down, and we voted what we wanted up. So I
Okay.
really don't need a presentation because I've already seen the presentation.
All right, thank you so much. So
Mr.
items,
Chairman?
yes.
With that in mind, I would move, I believe, Mrs. Salisbury, check me if I'm wrong, 7D, E, G, Delta Echo Golf were all 9-0 votes?
Yes, sir.
I would move for approval of those three.
Probably moved and seconded. All those in favor of 7D, E, G, let it be known by saying aye. Opposers, nay. Yeah, Mr.
I'm not where I am here now. D, E, and G are allowing public access?
Yes, sir.
Those
Those
are
are
only
all.
three?
Yes, sir. Those are the three that allow full public access.
Okay.
Those were 9-0 votes last time.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Darby?
I was thinking long and hard, and I do have a dissertation to read tonight.
Yes.
and I'm going to ask that please pardon my reading because my memory cards aren't as lengthened as they used to be. As I was right in between sleep and waking, my deliberation tonight is not to change minds or to be combative or belligerent. I want to state for the record, because as a student of history, I know the importance thereof. And since my tenure on Charleston County Council, my votes have been tenured to be on the right side of history, as some future researcher of Charleston County Council and its decision may come across my voting record, and I would want that person or person to say that I was on the right side of history. I agree that green space should be reserved and revered because land is one of the difficult and sweetest gifts Holy Providence has given to mankind. Several years ago, under the precious leadership of Councilman Curtis Bostic, along with Councilman Pryor, as well as other council members, with each playing his or her role exceedingly well, in Charleston County's procuring of the measure of preserving lands and procuring funds for the purpose of green space. It was indubitable that I had my reservation because with such dollars, the wealthiest of county residents get more than their fair share, while the poorest of residents procure the residue thereof. Nonetheless, I cast my aye vote because in the final analysis, the preservation of land was needed, hoping and wanting that African Americans and the white poor would be treated fairly. Arthur Schopenhauer, the German philosopher, once postulated, "We love those things best that we do not have, but once we acquire them, we discover that they are not what we had hoped for." Not only is Schopenhauer right about our individual lives, but also our political lives. Had I the clairvoyance that public dollars would be used for the preservation of private property with no public access, I would have voted no to be on the right side of history. In so many instances, the pockets of green space owners gag with superfluity, and yet they procure tax dollars, including those tax dollars of the poor, but the same poor taxpayers are not even allowed to walk on the land. Seemingly, if not in fact, the preservation of green space for the property owners is just for them, their associates, friends, and families. Every code of socio-financial jurisprudence would speak against this. The measure of purchasing green space with tax dollars with no public access is unfair and inequitable. As I slumbered and slept, when the subject matter came into existence, the matter of unfairness of the usage of tax dollars in terms of green space brought to memory not too many years ago, whereby tax dollars spent were not equitable. My mother paid taxes, but I did not have public access to go to Danny Jones. She paid taxes, but I could not have public access to attend North Charleston High School. She paid taxes, but we did not have public access to walk on the streets or sidewalks beyond Mixon Avenue. She paid taxes, but we did not have public access to visit the park at Park Circle. As a little boy, 7 years, Mama, why we can't go over there? It was so unfair because she was a tax-paying citizen. Although the matter before council is not racial, it does deal with hierarchy of class, so that when Mr. Moody's children come home and want to go to those parcels beyond that he listed, he would have to say, we can't go over there. I am not opposed to wealth, but I am opposed to wealth when it's not fair play. Those organizations which deny public access want taxpayers' dollars but do not want taxpayers' presence, which results in taxpayers' discrimination. There are those who would say it is very important to preserve the land, and I wholeheartedly agree. For those who deem it necessary to use tax dollars for the preservation of green space, why not deem it necessary to allow public access? It is the fair and logical thing to do. And finally, the intellectualism of Mr. Grabowski and the persistence of those who oppose Elbert have weighed very heavily upon me to scrutinize every vote I cast in reference to tax dollars, because we must do better with our tax dollars. Again, I am not trying to change minds. I just want to state for the record that public dollars should not be afforded to private persons or entities and the preservation of land with no public access. Thus, my nay vote will be for all Greenbelt items which do not allow for public access.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Darby. Item 7A, Montgomery Track Rural CE Greenbelt Project.
I think I need a vote on D, E, and G.
Oh, all those in favor?
Man, come on, let's get this thing over. We're repeating the same thing over and over.
All those in favor, let it be.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. And so let's get the vote done, and then we can come back to
public comments. Yeah.
Well, I'm not asking for me to speak, but I did want to hear what the man from Green.
Meet him later.
All right. 7A, Montgomery Track Rural CE Greenbelt Project.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Let's have a roll call vote on all of these.
Yes, sir.
7A.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Nay.
Mrs. Honeycutt? Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Nay.
Mr. Pryor?
No.
Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman? Mr. Middleton?
Nay.
The motion passes with 5 ayes and 4 nays.
7B, AC2 Rural CE Greenbelt Project.
Move to approve.
Properly moved. Seconded. All those, roll call vote.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Nay.
Mrs. Honeycutt? Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Nay.
Mr. Pryor? Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman? Mr. Middleton?
Nay.
The motion passes with 5 ayes and 4 nays.
7F, Small Spring Scenic Buffer Rural Greenbelt Project.
We need to do C.
7C, I'm sorry, Palmetto Terrace Park Rural Greenbelt Project. When you have bifocals, sometimes it skips a line. Yeah.
That's why I had to go get my
Properly
reading
moved. Seconded. Oh, okay. Roll call.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Nay.
Mrs. Honeycutt?
Aye.
Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Nay.
Mr. Pryor? Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman? Mr. Middleton?
Nay.
The ordinance, not the ordinance, the motion passes with 5 ayes and 4 nays.
7F, Small Spring Scenic Buffer Rural Greenbelt Project.
Move to approve.
Properly moved.
Second.
Seconded. Roll call vote.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Nay.
Mrs. Honeycutt?
Aye.
Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
No.
Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman? Mr. Middleton?
No.
The ordinance, the motion passes with 6 ayes and 3 nays.
7H, Cedar Hall Scenic Buffer Rural Greenbelt Project.
Move to approve.
Properly moved.
Second.
Seconded. Roll call vote.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Nay.
Mrs. Honeycutt? Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
No.
Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman?
Aye.
Mr. Middleton?
Nay.
The motion passes with 6 ayes and 3 nays.
7I, Polk Flynn Rural Conservation Easement Greenbelt Project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Nay.
Mrs. Honeycutt? Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Nay.
Mr. Sass?
Aye.
Mr. Werman?
Aye.
Mr. Middleton?
Nay.
The motion passes with 6 ayes and 3 nays.
7J, Preacher's Pond Rural Conservation Easement Greenbelt Project.
Move to approve.
Roll call vote.
Mr. Boykin?
Aye.
Mr. Darby?
Nay.
Mrs. Honeycutt? Mr. Kabrowski? Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Nay.
Mr. Sass? Mr. Werman?
Aye.
Mr. Middleton?
Nay.
The motion passes with 6 ayes and 3 nays.
Thank you so much. Ms. Honeycutt, council comments?
None for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Boykin?
None from me, sir.
Thank you so much. Mr. Sass?
Nothing for me tonight.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moody?
A couple things. I just wanted to reiterate that I was happy to support the 10-mile overlay as we have sorted through that. I want to recall to everyone, this is a project that the community developed. They put their hand on it with long hours, long meetings. This is what they want. For groups to come in and tell us we need to not do that is pretty arrogant in my opinion, but it is what it is. I would also like to applaud the Public Works team. That was good news tonight. You know, just like we are on our financial side, we're one of few counties that have AAA rating. That's heady stuff that our Public Works folks are playing in. And then finally, I think we need to have an Economic Development Committee meeting. Mr. Brodsky, I'm not sure when the last one we've had. We have got to have one of these meetings. Yeah. I would urge you to get with the clerk and the chairman, or clerk, and get that scheduled. If you're not comfortable doing that, I think we'd probably find a quorum that would ask to have that meeting pulled together next council meeting. These claims of unchecked claims about Philos and what they are doing in the community has just got to be answered. It's just absolute hogwash. Mm-hmm. It's pretty easy to pull together from the yellow sheets all of the cost that's happened, but what I bet their report doesn't show is the billions of dollars invested in this county, the thousands, hundreds of thousands of jobs created, the cascading effect of economic development that's come and jobs created. It's pretty easy to see that, and it's gone unchecked for too long. So, Mr. Brodsky, I would urge you to get with the clerk and let's schedule an Economic Development Committee meeting just as soon as we can. I bet Merle would probably be happy to help you pull together. I'm speaking for him, Mr. Tootin. I'm sorry, Mr. Tootin. I think you would be happy to help us pull that together. The actual benefits versus just the costs that are laid out here is you're stealing from our children nonsense. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wehrman.
I will say I'll echo that. I mean, I think we've had some healthy discussions around the subject. I'm interested to see, the report. I do think, like we've talked about, there's sort of a way to calculate it under one perspective and under another perspective. I will say one thing, and I don't know if we're going to bridge the debate on that, but one thing that I will be very interested in and might be worth adding to the agenda of this hopefully forthcoming meeting is talk about the process, where I think, some folks have disagreement about the substance of the Philos or other projects, but the process by which the sort of publicly available information, I'm very open to coming up with maybe some sort of dashboard or something like that. We'll obviously need to check with Merle and understand more about state law about what can be presented in an agenda format, but I think putting this stuff out there, I certainly don't think we should act like we're hiding anything. So happy to certainly revise that, and obviously I think the discussion about the substantive issues is important and healthy as well. Thank you.
Mr. Darby?
Nay, nothing.
Mr. Pryor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd say ditto to what Mr. Darby said about these Greenbelts project and without public access. Him and I have been fighting these for years, and last time I checked, it was something like almost $28 million that was allotted in Greenbelts money that went to the green space without public access. And, that's one of the reasons why I vote against these things, because I think the public should have full access to these properties. Now, some, you may not, and, you have to vote for because it's contiguous. But, I mean, when you pay somebody who's got, some of these folks who come here, they're not going to sell the property anyway, okay? But they see an avenue to where, you know what, I can pick up a couple of $1 million or so, a couple of $100,000, and still own the property. Plus, you get a tax break from the state and the feds. I mean, that's a win-win situation. But as Mr. Darby said, the same poor people, the same taxpayers who pay it don't have access. That's why I no longer support and couldn't support anything that doesn't have public access. And so it's not a question of the haves and the haves not, but public access is important. These people pay taxes, and this county should look at that and make sure that the majority, when necessary, have public access. I'm going to keep voting nay on these that don't have public access. And we also have to be careful, too. We are taking Greenbelt's funds down, and we are squeezing development. I've noticed that now. Somebody don't want property to be developed, They bring it to us or somebody to come up, and we just go ahead and say, okay, we're going to put a park on it. That stops development, but here we are talking about affordable housing. So you can't have both. It's not a balance. If you want affordable housing on somebody's property, then you can't take Greenbelt funds and says, I want to put a park there, because there's no way for these things to go. So I hope, this council in the future going forward will look at some of these things, because if you really want affordable housing, then you can't tell the folks where you can't build it there. You got to build it somewhere else. And it's not fair to the inner cities. I mean, North Charleston's taking everybody's traffic. It's taking everybody's garbage. We have taken a lot. And for these people to say, not in my backyard, send it to North Charleston, I'm done. We have taken on everything since I've been living on this earth in North Charleston, when it used to be Charleston Heights. Dump it over there. You know how many dumps we have over in North Charleston? I can remember. You had the one over there where the incinerator was at. You had the one where the old Baker Hospital site was at. You had one over on the old Daniel Jenkins Project site. I mean, so it's all over here. We taking stuff from everybody else, but nobody wants nothing that's going to benefit everybody. So I want to start scrutinizing these things a lot more too, and if it's not going to benefit the whole county as a whole, I'm not going to support it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chair Krabrowski.
Several things. Mr. Moody's point. Everything needs to be there.
Is your microphone on?
Yes. In regard to Mr. Moody's point, I'd be happy to have a meeting on that. And I'd like to say we can learn many things. And although I disagree with Mr. Morrison and how he characterized Elbit in the strongest terms, you can sometimes learn from people you disagree with. I think that's a good point. I'd like to see what that he issued in that paper, because I think it would be, my position on this has always been, when you use public money, it ought to be discussed in public. Sometimes I get criticized for bringing things up, but in pertaining to what Mr. Moody said, I try to do that when every one of these things come up. That's when it should be discussed, because you're giving away public money, and it very well might be there's great benefits. But the public has a right to know how much money we're giving up and what we're getting in return. So I think also, when I heard about the development and affordable housing, I think it needs to be discussed that is our economic development, the way we do it is on steroids, is what's causing these high prices. I mean, we subsidize some people, but we're not doing anything for the prices of homes. Are going to keep on going up and up. And how do we deal with that? Sometimes I wonder if our own policies have created that. And in terms of what Mr. Darby said, I have great respect, and I look at him as a mentor and I listen to it. But I take the position, if there's any other way, my district is the most rural one. I have like 30 or 40 miles from Mount Pleasant to Georgetown. If there's any other way, knowing to mankind, to preserve the rural area than to put some of the area off limits for development, I don't know what it is. And the people that are getting this money, yes, but they may not sell, but they have children. It very well be. And we're going to be coming back to ask for a sales tax for transportation. I know no better way than to put certain areas off for development as we have all these problems for overdevelopment. So I know it's hard for me to talk, so that's enough for me now. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Madam Attorney. Mr. Administrator.
Very quickly, sir. Walt, Phil, I saw Jesse earlier. I saw Barrett earlier. Thank you for your service, and thanks to all the veterans who work for the county right now.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Just real quickly, a reminder to council and the public on Monday, November 17th at 1 o'clock, we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony for our Palmetto Commerce interchange off of I-26. So that's Monday at 1 o'clock, and hope to see a lot of you out there.
I'll come by and pick you up, Mr. Darby.
So was going to remind council that on Wednesday, so Monday and Wednesday on the 19th, the Resilience and Sustainability Symposium will take place at Trident Technical College's Thornley campus from 9 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. So please, within your schedule, Monday and Wednesday, if you can participate in those events.